Just play the damn thing.
So, the word around the campfire here lately is that Sam Ash is no more. Sam Ash have gone out of business, or at least are in the process of going out of business. A number of people have asked me my opinion on it, and finally I decided that I would go ahead and just weigh in here on my channel and let you guys know what I think. It's always sad to hear about another retailer, big or small, in the MI industry that didn't make it. If you follow this channel for a while, you know that once upon a time, I was a manager at the Guitar Center here in the Indianapolis area. I left that position 10 years ago now, so it's been a long time, but that's where a lot of my background comes from. And at that store, there is, so I guess was, or soon to be was, a Sam Ash that was right around the corner from us. Sam Ashes and Guitar Centers in markets that they both exist, they usually are very, very close to each other. The Sam Ash was right around the corner from us. Over in Cincinnati, those two, the two stores actually share a back lot together. They back up to each other. So, they're generally in very, very close proximity with one another. And the store here in Indianapolis, they provided some really, really good competition for us. We did not win every deal with every customer. Sometimes they won. For any number of reasons. I've never had anything bad to say about Sam Ash at all. I was a little pissed when they would win a deal that I was working on, when we didn't get it, but, that's business. It happens. They were a good store. They did a good job. I had a lot of customers that bought, they bought just as much from them as they did from me. And, they would do that. They would buy from them to keep me honest, and they would buy from me to keep them honest. Especially, top high-end customers will do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, no hate for Sam Ash at all. But as far as them going out of business, I can't say that I'm surprised. And this is not based on any kind of industry knowledge. This is just my opinion from what I've seen as a former employee for a competitor of theirs, and more importantly, as a member of the guitar community and a consumer. Certainly over the last 15 years, but especially the last 10, so much of this industry has shifted to the internet, and not just this industry, but pretty much every industry. So much has shifted to online sales. To put this into perspective for everybody. Sweetwater has one location, which has turned into a pretty decent sized campus, but still just one location in Fort Wayne, Indiana, a town that's really not very big. Fort Wayne's pretty small. It's pretty small. There's one highway going through it, and of all the places for it to land, if I were going to start a business with the hopes of growing it that big, Fort Wayne is probably not the first place that I would choose to set it up. Yet, many regard them, and they sales. I don't have sales numbers in front of me, but they very well may be the current industry leader in sales, and the vast majority of their business is done online. Done electronically, one way or another. Electronically or over the phone, long distance, whatever the case may be. And again, Sweetwater do a great job. Guitar Center is doing more and more business online and over the phone every single day. Guitar Center shipping gear to people all over the country from all of their locations. They do a ton of online business, and that business is increasing again, as I said, every single day. And then there's all the smaller retailers, the ZZ Zounds, or however the hell you say it, American Music Supply, Pro Audio Star, all those places, B&H Photo, all of those online retailers. Pick your favorite online retailer. There's a bunch of them. All of them doing crazy business online through their websites. And then there's Sam Ash, that for whatever reason, they just never seem to embrace the e-commerce side of the industry. They wanted to continue doing all their business in person and on site in store. And while that's admirable, in this day and age, it's not realistic. Certainly not now. If you think about it, if you're even moderately active in any of the guitar forums, or Facebook groups, anything like that, online where the guitar community, is comparing notes. If anytime you see a post where somebody's talking about their their new favorite piece of gear that they love, or they're posting pictures of their new guitar, things like that we all do, when we're, well, not all of us, but a lot of us will do when we're excited about our newly acquired new favorite piece of gear. How many of those posts can you recall where the new owner of said piece of gear said that they bought it off of Sam Ash's website? I can't recall a single one. I've never heard about anybody buying any gear off of Sam Ash's website anywhere, ever. New or used gear for that matter. And I personally think that was the primary reason for their downfall. This is 2024, folks. If you're not doing business electronically, you're not going to be doing business, period. I do business on this channel, this very channel. The majority of this business is all conducted electronically. When companies reach out to me and want me to demo a piece of gear, the whole thing is done electronically. Invoicing, payments, email communication, all of it. A company recently sent me a paper check in the mail. That was the first time that's ever happened. So, and even then, I think it was probably electronically generated and mailed out. And then you consider what the service that I provide for these companies, which again is an online electronic service, where their potential audiences are viewing the gear that is being featured again through the internet. Not just me. That's all these these channels that are demoing guitar gear. Again, this is 2024. The internet is not just the future, but it is the present. And if you're not willing to embrace it, you're not going to last long. You're just not. I don't know why Sam Ash did not want to, ever jump in with both feet into the e-commerce arena. I just don't understand it. They bought plenty of used gear. I see no reason why they shouldn't have done well. But they didn't seem to want to set it up that way. The other thing that I always saw that I think was a struggle for them was they did not. I was never really all that impressed with their used gear pricing. My local Sam Ash, they bought used gear in pretty high, at pretty high cost, and pretty low margin is what it would turn into. They would pay almost street value for a used whatever. And if a tube screamer, if a used tube screamer sold for $80 right now, they would probably pay 60 or 70 for it, market at 100, and hope that they'd get it. And then when they wouldn't, they'd have to mark it down to 70 or $80 and sell it for make minimal profit margin, if any at all. Or I'm sure in a lot of cases lose money on it. They always kind of seem to be really loosey-goosey about buying in used gear, And there is a really, really fine line from the retailer perspective about buying in, about how to buy in used gear, because there's, I've talked a lot about this in the past, but what I haven't talked too much about, I guess, is the challenges the retailers face with this. They want the used gear because they want the item, they want to be able to sell it and make some money on it, but sometimes in order to get it, they got to pay a little bit more for it than they normally would like to, because there's a competitor across the street or down the street or a couple miles away, whatever it is, that is willing to pay as much or maybe even go over their offer to get a hold of the same piece and take that profit and put it in their pocket, and who wouldn't want to do that? So trying to find that right balance is often very, very difficult. Now when I was at Guitar Center, we ran a very, very successful used gear market. I brag about this a fair amount, because I'm proud of this. It is. I earned this award in 2012 because that year, in a store with probably 20-ish associates, sales reps, give or take, I bought and sold more used and vintage gear than the rest of the store staff combined that year. I learned how to be very successful in buying and selling in the used market here at my store. So I think I qualify as somebody who knows what he's talking about when it comes to this. I would see items or similar items, used or Sam Ash priced 50, 60, 70, even sometimes 70% higher than what we had them marked at. And sometimes that made it tough for us to buy gear because, everybody was taking it over there because they were overpaying for it. So, you take these two factors, and again, this is not, there's no official stats to go along with any of this stuff. This is just observations that I've made myself, things that I have personally seen. You take these things and add it all up, and unfortunately, it's no surprise that Sam Ash went the way that they did. And it breaks my heart to see it, and really I hope that they are able to recover in some form, fashion, or another. At least maybe back up, start over, and maybe come back. Because there is no there's no shortage of demand for guitar stores. Good guitar stores with good selections. People are always clamoring, and guitar players in particular, musicians in particular, always crying about, not crying, but always screaming about wanting more places with more variety and more things to choose from. Here's to hoping somebody can make that happen one of these days. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below if you haven't already. Adios.